This girl, she grabs me by the arm, which is weird. And she's like, yo, son, that's mad cute. Like, that's weird. So yeah, I do a lot of traveling, right? And I meet some really interesting characters. So I'm doing a show out in Pennsylvania, and I get there. It's like I get there about an hour before the show starts, right? So like I walk in, and there's already this guy. He's already sitting there in the audience. He's the only one in the audience. So I walk in. He walks up to me, starts talking. I think we know each other. After about 5 to 10 minutes, I realize I don't know him. Right? So I ask him. I'm like, have we met before? And he's like, you don't recognize me. And I'm like, nah, I don't. He's like, I watch you on YouTube all the time. And I said, you know, it's not like Skype. Like I can't see you. And his reply is, oh, that's what's up. Super weird. All right, so the next poem was inspired. I was doing a show, and afterwards we did a panel discussion, and like everybody on the panel, like we were talking about like how we were in high school, because you know, I was a poet, and a few other people, they were like public speakers and whatnot. So they asked us, a guy asked us what we were like in high school, and I told him like I was like super awkward and whatnot, and he was like, well, how did you transition out of your awkward phase, right? And I was like, well, I became an awkward adult. He was like, so like there's no hope for me, and I said, I'll pray for you. I don't know your situation. He was like, so like, what would you say to your younger self if you could? And at the time, I didn't know. I was kind of stuck. I was like, I really don't know what I would say to myself. And he was like, well, you should write a poem about it. And that's what everybody says when you're a poet. They say you should just write a poem about it. So I did, and this is what I came up with. You guys ready? Yeah. All right, here we go. If you were to find an old calendar, strap it to a hospital bed, tie it down by its weekends, and then C-section the belly of 1999, you'd find a 17-year-old version of me. Back when I was a tsunami of awkward moments splashing against the shoreline called Rochelle Moss. A young lady who introduced my jaw to the floor whenever she floated into our first period classroom, this girl. She was a dandelion seed straddling a wish. She was a dream that I never thought would turn flesh and grin, but wire hangers like me, let's just say we don't become captain of the football team. The only thing we're good at is stopping ourselves from saying I like you to a girl that holds the remote control to our smiles. See, we are blurry silhouettes against the backdrop of popular, often wearing our skin like a costume of someone we didn't feel comfortable pretending to be anyways. We swallow earthquakes, and then we tremble at the smell of perfume. We are bashful, tongue-tied, and we are nervous in high definition. So the question is, if a boy falls for a girl that's out of his league and there's no one around to hear him, does he make a sound? The answer is hell, and the first 2 letters of nothing. When I was a senior in high school, I was a pocket full of chalk dust. I was elevator music on a CD that stuttered like a Volkswagen with a really bad transmission. At this age, I was a ballot box stuffed full of everyone's opinions except for my own. My swagger was like watching a Walkman trying to swallow a DVD. At this age, I walked as if I was concerned with how the ground would feel about my footsteps. And if I could just find a way to write a letter to that boy who is an itchy sweater that I will someday grow out of, I would say there will be days when you feel like a peacock with no feathers. You will feel flightless and undeserving of attention. But listen, you have to stop getting out of bed like you're an oil spill. You're not a flat tire at 2 a.m., so stop acting like an accident, Rudy. You're not an accident, Rudy. You're an apple on a pine tree in a room full of lemons. And you come from a long line of Swiss Army pocket knives, men who are small, sharp, and dangerous when not handled carefully. Some days, I wish that my arms were 12 years long so I could reach all the way back there, grab you by the shoulders, punch you in the chest and say, listen, you are the main character in a movie that I watch every time I see the inside of my eyelids. I told myself a million times that I wouldn't spoil the ending, but I will tell you this, your story starts off really slow. But it does get better. You don't have to believe me. Someday you'll see for yourself. And when you see Rochelle Moss at the